Hello.
Hello, is this Trish Stratus?
Hi, how are
So,
you?
how does it feel to have a set that's all about you in this case?
Well, first of all, I'm so thankful, or I guess I'm humbled with the fact that I had enough WrestleMania moments to create a card set. I
Yeah,
mean, when I was sort of when they pushed with the idea, I was like, oh wow, that's an amazing opportunity. And then of course to actually go back and like relive each of the moments, it was like, oh, well, like it just makes you appreciate the opportunities that I had in my wrestling career, and working with all the gals I got to work with, reliving each moment. It's like this is how my legacy was cemented. Is each of these blocks were put together to create this amazing thing. So, yeah, super thankful. And as a collector myself, it's like pretty awesome to add to the collection.
working in the industry, lots of signing appearances and card projects in the past. Where does this stand compared to some of the others?
Not to turn down any of the other appearances that were they're all exciting. Every opportunity was amazing, but this is really special. I mean, like had some really cool cards. My husband is we're both collectors big time, and so one of the things Ron started doing was collecting the cards along the way.
Right.
And so he enjoys the chase, and he would track down cards. And there was a point where, I assume there still is, but I mean, it was wrestling was just huge, right? I mean, it is now too, but I mean, the time where there was trading cards and games in Asia and Italy and all
Right.
kinds of things. So Ron has some really, pretty epic cards in his collection. But this is really special just because it highlights. It's like a nice story, right? It's sort of it's. I mean, it would be awesome to give it to my son and be like, that's what Mama did.
The natural question that I had for you is, given the name of this, I mean, Road to WrestleMania, is this a ending point or a point for one more match, perhaps? I mean, you're in the Hall of Fame, and you had your biggest moment, your final moment there, but you've actually still been pretty active on an occasional basis. Is there more to come?
Well, I always sort of say that the door is never closed.
Okay.
And it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I've always, in any moment I've gone back to, it was based on the fact that I'd say, okay, is this fun? Is this challenging? Will the fans like it? Does this do something for the business? And that's kind of what I based my decision on. So, sometimes I get asked the question and I can look at the landscape and actually see nothing for me. Like, I just don't see where Trish would fit. Even from a booker's perspective, forget
Right.
me. I would go, would Trish fit right here? Does this make sense? Is there anything that makes sense? So sometimes it really just doesn't make sense. I mean, seeing Stephanie come out the last couple of weeks,
Kind of
maybe it's
fun.
expanded
Yeah.
a little bit, because I think there's definitely there's unfinished business there. You could say that, and I think as a fan, I'd be interested to see that. And I know that it's funny because when I saw her and Bree sort of go at it, I texted Steph and I said, "Good stuff. Oh my God, loving it. Kind of jealous it's not me in there, but that's cool." Just really
It's kind
fun.
of a
Hold on, those are just my cards.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, you're kidding me. That's crazy. Wow.
yeah. I mean,
That is.
it's. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. We're both excited.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy to hear because like I feel a lot of the times, and especially early in my career, like you didn't even know what was being put out there, right? It was
Right.
almost like things were being created, and like someone would come to a signing and you'd be like, oh my God, that's cool. Where'd you get that from? And
Right.
that's why I was so like thankful for my husband to be such a great collector. Remember, Ivory came over and stayed over, and we showed Ivory the collection, and he actually had a bunch of Ivory cards that he gave to her, and she was like, thanks, I don't have any of these. And Ron was just like, wow, we were both like, that would suck to like not have all your own stuff. Like, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, and I was going to ask you if you collected anything beyond kind of the wrestling or card world. For example, Batista collects lunch boxes.
does he really?
Yeah, which is vintage '60s lunch boxes, right? That's
Yeah.
you see him and you hear that and you're like, what? So,
Yeah, I actually have a pretty extensive Barbie collection.
okay,
Yeah, Ron and I, so like, part of the fun of what we do is we go to these shows and we would check out these collectible shows, and we'd always be collecting something. So Ron, this phase, for example, he was in the starting lineups. He'd collect all these
right.
different starting lineup dolls. So it was fun. We'd go to these shows and we, the quotes, or we go scour the Toys R Us's, or say we'd go over the border because we live in
Toy
Toronto.
hunting. In terms of the back to the Topps cards, do you know which items are going to be in the memorabilia cards?
What do you mean, which items?
Like they apparently they have I don't know if
Oh,
it's
my
ring
outfit?
mats or your outfits. Yeah. Do you know?
Yes.
I
Yes, I
mean,
gave a pair of pants that it's it was my go-to pants. They were, I guess you could say, my lucky pants here and there. But the most notable was I wore it in a triple threat match against Molly and Victoria just after I won the title from Molly at Unforgiven. So that's kind of like, if anyone were to remember it, that would probably be the one you'd remember, the blue pants that I wore in that match.
Cool.
So so that's what I've given, and that should appear somewhere on the cards.
They've done all kinds of crazy cards, like the one thing they haven't done is a piece of the steel cage, but you can pretty much imagine for wrestling and other sports, pretty much anything has made it into a card these days. And this oddly ties into something. This is just also a kind of a fun wrestling question for me. And I may or may not use this, so no big deal if it's a dumb question. But I've checked it back and forth on slow-mo many times. And at the end of your match with Mickie James at WrestleMania, did you lose a tooth?
No.
No? Okay, because I asked John Waldman, the PR guy for this, whether I should ask about this, because you fall down and you hit your face right underneath. And I don't know if it's a reflection on your ring gear, but I swear if you watch it slow-mo, there's a spot of white where it looks like a tooth came out. So. Oh,
that's so cool. I should totally lie and use that story. That sounds so cool.
Well, it was one of those things. I had never seen anything written about it, but I'm like, I swear it's there. And
I'm pretty good about bragging about my war wounds. So I've definitely heard about something about that. But that's interesting. I got to definitely go watch that back.
It's true. It's like, well, that's one item you'll never see in a card. So
that's funny.
That's where I was going with that. So one last kind of inside, just fun wrestling question. I've never been able. I've talked wrestling with a few people like Jerry Lawler and some others, and I've never asked this question, but I've always wanted to because the answer just sort of I think will fascinate me. What's more fun for you, or do you think for others, working as a heel or a face?
Oh, I'm sure most people will give you the exact same answer, and it's working as a heel.
Really?
It's the best. It is free reign to go and say whatever you like and be as over the top as you like, and it's just great. I mean, when I got the chance, it's funny because my heel turn came rather unexpectedly from when, the WrestleMania 20, when I turned on Jericho, it was kind of like I was supposed to go into this big babyface program with Jericho, and him and I were going to be the big babyface girl-boy, couple. Mm-hmm. And then also Vince kind of was like, oh, what we're going to do tonight is you're going to turn heel. And we're like, whoa, what? No.
Swerve.
We've been working. Yeah, like he swerved us, right? Like, like tonight we're doing this. And we had, big plans. We've been literally working all of these storylines and all the angles every week up until that moment. However, Vince has fantastic foresight. He was correct. It worked. And that was a great moment. But for me, a lot of people were like, oh, gosh, we've been seeing her as this, underdog good girl for so long. It's hard. A lot of people came to me and said, I didn't think you could pull it off. I was kind of like, although as a heel in the beginning, I think just as a worker, maybe just people couldn't see it. And then, or that's what people came to love about me, so maybe that's why they couldn't see it. I don't know what it was, but a lot of people came to me and said, I really didn't think you'd pull off. I was like, wow, thanks for the confidence.
Well, it seems like some people just really thrive upon it. Like Edge, for example, seems to just love being the antagonist, for people. Yeah. And, it's just, to me, that's part of that creative process that just seems really fascinating because, ultimately that's, it could go both ways. I guess when you're young, like when you're younger and being the good guy, being cheered isn't hard. You're really not doing the work. But when you're the bad guy, you are. So. Yeah.
Well, that's it, and I loved it. It was the best part of my career. I enjoyed the promos every week. I loved that I got to create, new quirky moments, and for me to be sarcastic and be quirky and use my Canadian humor.
Right.
It was fun, and it was fun to be annoying, and yeah, it was a blast. I loved it. And to be honest, if I was to go back, that's what I would love to go back as a heel for sure.
Well, that'll work. Interesting. See it. I think the only other wrestler I think, at least in recent years, who's had kind of a retrospective set like this was Undertaker because of the streak, and that was a couple years ago or last year. So it's really cool to see this. It's really cool to talk to you. I hope this was a stratifying interview for you.
It was
with my goofy tooth question. I'm telling you, watch that on slow-mo. I know you lived it, but it's there if you watch.
I'm gonna. Maybe I did lose a tooth and I didn't even realize it. I chipped something.
Seriously,
I got it. So don't tell anybody. If I do find it, then I could use it in some stories.
Taking the time. Hopefully
we'll
get some.
It was a great conversation. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.